evening. Hello, everyone. All right, not a good week for CONY, but let's get this. Hopefully, my microphone, I had a few comments about it. I have ordered a new one, but this is a Logitech, and the quality isn't a problem. Could have been the setting, so hopefully, this sounds better. So what happened with CONY? Well, here's the trades. You always expect trades on a Friday. So, and I'll tell you about it. It went down, but they did not close the synthetic, the 260 out on 517. They added an additional, they bought 500 contracts, sold short, but they're buying for 9 cents with no chance that in a week it's going to go to 260. It could go up a little bit from 9 cents, but they're just delaying the inevitable. And they purchased, they bought to close. We made all the money on our 6.7 million, 2 cents, 1 cent, 1 cent. And then we put on new weeklies. We wrote a 212 for the bulk of the volume. So I'll just show you those. Sometimes I tell you, but when there's so many. So let's take a look at them. Let's go over to the synthetic first. So on our 260, we see what we did here is we wrote 500 more at the 260, right? So we bought the call, sold the put, so that netted us over 2.9 million. Right, so our running total through April and May was 24 million, but only 17 million falls into May. But with the closing price, right, look at this, 125 million loss, right? It's a paper loss, but that's up from the 102 million. So let's go back and finish May for the individual weekly calls. And, I'll just tell you the number again, right? When you have two transactions here, you drag it down. But here's 200.92. So coin was down 4.53%. And we were actually down a little more, again, because we've already taken all of the money that we could get out of the calls. They really already were almost worthless. So the good news is we collected all that money. The bad news is our synthetic sucks. So we closed down 20.68, slightly more. All right, so what did we do? We wrote 2 sets of calls, right? We rolled the big bulk, and we got 6.285 by choosing the 212. Oh, I didn't put that in. 212.5. That doesn't change the, and the 500 were written at 210. That doesn't change the value. That changed the break-even numbers, right? But it calculates on what you wrote it at, 3.1 and 3.7293, to dictate the monies. Now look at the funds. So we collected another 6.4 million, right? We had already written this 119 and 2 others. So when you look on our holdings, we're already making good money on the first 3 we wrote, and then we wrote these 2. So on the cash, look at this. We jumped because there's 2 transactions. The jump really happened here. The 500, whoops, I'm not on the change. 18.7 million. Why? Because we jumped up another 450,000 in shares, right? Why? Because people are buying the fund on sale. And I don't blame them. I didn't buy any today, but not that I think it's a bad investment. I just own a fair amount. So let's look at our holdings, which we can look at weeklies too. So here's a summary. Whoops, I don't have the 500 contracts in here. And that's at the 210. And these are all 517 dates, because what I do is yeah, I keep them all one color, and then later in the week and next week when we progress, I'll put yellow down here or something for the next week. So we've got a bulk of our stuff. Nothing is too low. This new 500 shares was written at 4.52%, right? Because this is our close on coin. And the big bulk here was 5.76. So we could be bumping up against that. I really expect this thing to move up next week. It did break resistance, but there's also massive support. Last time we popped down below, it was right in this range and it rebounded. So let's see what happens. Here we would be in the chart, right, at the 201. So let's see what happens on that. I mean, clearly 180 is the next big, slightly above 180, almost 185, 190 is major support. And it bounced on that prior to last time. So we'll see what happens. This week we've got 6.6 million to win. So if it doesn't bounce, we'll win that. We still have to deal with this synthetic. So let's go take a look at holdings. Okay, so we reflect the share count up 450,000, which is 2.21. We look at our fair value based on the share count and the net assets, and they're actually even now, right? We closed at 2068 in fair value. By market cap and number of shares is to 2068. Here's that ugly synthetic, right, updated. So the longer we go down, the more. Now, in some fairness, if a day or two in there we were to go to 220, we would reduce this, right? But I really think it's time to roll it. So here's a summary of our calls. And this one you would expect, right? I think we wrote it for 310 and it's now 317. So that one's in the negative. The other ones, oops, we've got the 500 in there that I didn't update here. But I have it over on the weekly. And that one was just written, right? That's a brand new one. And we collected 3.7293 on that guy. And that's equal to our May. It's coming in wide. I'll change that later. Remove my formula. Oh, I didn't put a close value for it, so we sold it at that. Let's see what we actually closed it at. I closed at 3.6. So we're making a little money on that guy. Oh, that's not May 13. That's the problem. It's probably May 15. Yep. Holdings. You can see we spend some time doing these things, right? it's not showing. We should have a small gain on that guy. Let me see what's happening here. 11 and 18. All right, I'll fix that. Don't worry about it. We have a small gain. Oh yeah, I'm showing the small gain here. I just don't know why the percentage isn't really picking it up. May 15, E16, May 14, E17, May 14. Yeah, I don't know really why, but I'll work on that. This is the amount of money that we stand to gain, 6.5 million this week, and we need that really. On the other hand, I'd like to see the synthetic, so I'd rather see us move up on our synthetic and maybe only capture 50 or 60% of that money. But I wanted to get this out early to you guys, because I know there's probably a lot of anxiety out there in the CONY world. But just hang in there. We'll do just fine. Max has a way of still paying these things out. So I updated this, right? So everything's got the share count. We've got the 13 million and our short calls. Now that's counting that new 6.5, 6.6. We already captured the other one. So because of the share count, we've got 65 cents. Remember, we got 3 more weeklies to report. It's just and we got a little money here, but when you have to buy this down. But look at this scenario. We had big win. This was when coin was really running, and had another big run, a little bit less of a run. But here's a month in January where we're only paid 107. Well, what happened? You can tell that coin was declining. I could go pull the chart up and show you. So when you take a 72 million, right, and we've got 125, let's say it ends up being 100, and then it's 93 because we're 7 ahead, right, and we've got some carryover money of 17, it just depends. If we get this up to 2.25, they may pay us the full 2.25, right, with 4 of these. This would be around 260 if we had 4 weeks like this. It's just if we had the exact same weeks where we captured everything and we keep losing on the synthetic, then we're going to be hurt. But I'm positive on this, and I wanted to calm nerves and just say, hey, this is still going to be, it's never paid under $1. It's not going to pay under $1. We just need to get going and fix this synthetic. So hope the microphone is better. Hang in there, guys. I'll put Misty out later today, Ybit, and also Crash. All right. Hey, have a good one. Again, this is Bruce. I'm not a financial advisor. This is for fun and education. If you want to make investments, seek your own financial advisor. All right. Bye for now.